I wanted to read a little bit from F.F. Bruce's Answers to Questions, a compilation of articles he wrote, short articles, very short most of the time, for a Brethren magazine back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And this edition was published. It seems to be fairly hard to get now. But on the other hand, here he's actually referring to the work of someone else, and that is Bruce Metzger. Some of you will be familiar with Bruce Metzger already. He's one of the most famous New Testament text critics in the world, gone now. But he was the mentor of Bart Ehrman and is partly responsible for this, the United Bible Society's official Greek New Testament, of which he was the co-editor, and also put out by the United Bible Society's this, a textual commentary on the Greek New Testament, dealing with individual texts and their complications, sometimes involved with choice of a text for translations. So there's no higher authority in the area of New Testament Greek and the text traditions. Now, F.F. Bruce, in Answers to Questions, is quoting extensively from Metzger on John 1:1, and this is the question that was sent to F.F. Bruce in the Brethren magazine. What bearing, if any, has more recent light on the use or omission of the article in New Testament Greek on John 1:1 with reference to the rendering and interpretation of that verse current among Jehovah's Witnesses, which is, of course, the Word was a God? Bruce says, in the light of the most recent study of the article in New Testament Greek, the JW rendering is seen to be, quote, and this is a quote from Metzger, a frightful mistranslation. It overlooks entirely an established rule of Greek grammar, which necessitates the rendering, and the word was God, capital G. Some years ago, Dr. Ernest Cadman Colwell of the University of Chicago pointed out in a study of the Greek definite article that a definite predicate nominative has the article when it follows the verb. It does not have the article when it precedes the verb. The opening verse of John's Gospel contains one of the many passages where this rule suggests the translation of a predicate as a definite noun. The absence of the article before theos does not make the predicate indefinite or qualitative when it precedes the verb. It is indefinite in this position only when the context demands it. The context makes no such demand in the Gospel of John, for this statement cannot be regarded as strange in the prologue of the Gospel, which reaches its climax in the confession of Thomas, and that, of course, is a reference to John 20. Verse 28, where Thomas, the doubting Thomas, says, finally, my Lord and my God, to Jesus. Now, Bruce refers also to C.F.D. Moule's Idiom of New Testament Greek, and also Moulton's Grammar of the New Testament Greek. Syntax. Bruce's final comment is, the New English Bible aptly paraphrases the clause, what God was, the Word was. Let me read that again. The New English Bible's version of John 1:1. What God was, the Word was. And Bruce concludes, this is the keynote of the fourth Gospel. And now he's quoting from another very famous Greek scholar, C.K. Barrett. The deeds and words of Jesus are the deeds and words of God. If this be not true, the book, that is the Gospel of John, is blasphemous. I'll put in a link to what another very famous, even more famous Greek scholar has to say about John 1, B.F. Westcott. See you soon.